So that shiny new game just came out, Wildcard Football, and you want to know if it's worth your time, right? Well, let's take a look at the game for some first impressions. In the menu, you have several options to choose, and I looked at daily challenges first. We have 3 daily challenges, it appears. Also, you can replace 1 challenge per day for a different one. I clicked store, but I guess brought up Steam. Seems like there's no in-game store. The top right Wildcard Football cannot be clicked on, that's just for show. So on the bottom it shows tutorial game, and I did that to begin with. Here you select your team, and it seems the team names are based on the starting quarterback of different NFL teams. Team Murray, for example, is referring to Kyler Murray, the Arizona Cardinals NFL starting quarterback. The 3 stats it shows are the team's overall ranking, as well as offense and defense. These are not stats for the quarterback. A loading screen appears showing some very confusing controls for keyboard. It seems it's meant to be played with 2 hands on the keyboard, which sucks, and I don't play games like that. Ever. Immediately, I was having issues trying to remember what key does what. Also, the mouse is unusable. You can't even use it to click options. Plugging in a controller did absolutely nothing. I quit the match and took a look at Dream Squad. Here I had 4 unopened booster packs. They seem to give players, jerseys, animations, logos, things like that. I believe these can be earned just from playing the game. There doesn't seem to be any kind of microtransaction or anything. I backed out of the menu and it put me into the team editor. Here you can customize your logo with some limited options. You can customize your uniform and its colors here also. I selected a motorcycle helmet. Next tab over, you can change your city name, team uniform, and field. Changing your roster is possible as well in this mode for offense and defense. It seems there are limited selections at each category though. I suppose you need booster packs to unlock more players. Over in collection, you can open packs, view the cards you own, or trade those cards. You can actually use trade tickets for skins and logos and things like that also. Customize lets you change your playbook, wildcard decks, and your team again. Offensive and defensive playbooks have several slots, so you could create multiple different playbooks. Wildcard decks are much the same. Under Dream Squad, if you press play next, you'll have 3 options: quick game against someone online, league play against someone online, or tour, which is offline. I selected Tour, and that gave me challenges each match. Back in the menu, I selected Season. Here you play through different matches, simulating an NFL season. You can turn the difficulty to easy, normal, or hard, and turn wildcards on or off. Once you select that, you can play next game, view the standings, and view the schedule. This is also an offline game mode. At this point, I quit the game to try and see if I could get a controller to work. However, nothing I did really helped. I browsed the forums, and someone else was complaining about this, so I replied that I had the same issues. After a while, someone new replied with a solution, and then a Saber Interactive developer replied as well with the same solution. If you're on Steam with this issue, you'll want to go to your game in your library, go to controller layout, and change the layout to gamepad. It was on keyboard and mouse by default, and changing it to gamepad makes a controller usable now. Oh, and your controller has to be plugged in to even see the controller layout option. As for the game itself, it's 7v7 football with wildcards, if you have them enabled, that is. Wildcards are really just different buffs and debuffs that you can use against the enemy team or on your own team. Before every single play, you're given an option to select a wildcard for that play, whether you're on offense or defense. Here's a few examples. Capsule keeps your passer protected for a limited time until he either throws the ball or crosses the line of scrimmage. However, its effects were way more limited than I thought they were. In fact, my plan was to just stand there to test it out, but that did not work out. Another wildcard is soft grip. It reduces the other team's hold stat by 80%. That made me get a fumble recovery. One more I'll show is super speed, 80% speed increase for the whole team. The AI used chaotic pass that same play, which makes passing harder for me. Good thing I used a run play though, but unfortunately my character fumbled. So it seems it's a normalish football game with just wild cards that you can use to spice it up. I don't usually do videos on sports games because they're always the same each year pretty much. But this one was different enough to catch my eye. I don't play football games like Madden or anything, so it could be that I'm just bad, but to me this felt like I had little to no time every single play, whether on offense or defense. And when choosing a play, there's a countdown, which I felt like didn't have enough time on it. The plays I dislike the most are running plays, as getting past the defensive line itself can be really challenging. Passing wise, it sometimes feels like the defensive backs try way harder to get to the ball than your receivers do. Also, you control how hard you throw the ball by how long you keep the button pressed. Throwing rainbows just lets the defense get there and wait, but throwing bullets will just get deflected or intercepted a lot of times. So you really gotta play with that. The last time I really played and enjoyed a football game was probably NCAA on PlayStation 1, so I'm coming from not a whole lot of experience with football games. I'm unsure how to feel on this one. On one hand, the wildcard system makes a game more interesting, but on the other hand, I feel like it's missing how good a normal type of football game would feel. I really prefer the NCAA and Madden type of controls and just how it feels in general. If this sort of wildcard system was implemented into a game like those two, I feel like I would have enjoyed this so much more. Overall, I'm a little mixed on it. I'd say I like it mostly, but I'm not super into it. It's a fun little arcadey type of game. Also, I selected Team Mayfield every single time because I've been a fan of him since OU. Anyways, I'll revisit this game in the future to really sink some hours into it and decide how I feel about it then. That's my personal opinion though. Whether or not this is your type of game, I'll see you on the next one.